USS Langley. How do you hit stuff? For the purposes of this video, I've taken a few basic commander skills. It's just going to let me stay alive a little bit longer while I hopefully get some hits with a aircraft armament. Just taking basic upgrades, nothing special. You have rocket attack aircraft which fire high explosive rockets, which can do damage from any angle. You have torpedo bombers which drop torpedoes, and you have bombers which drop bombs. So the only purpose of this video is to hopefully show you how to land hits with the aircraft armament. There are a great many considerations when it comes to playing aircraft carriers or CVs in this game. I'm not an expert and will not be going into any depth at all with relation to supporting your team or avoiding damage, but these are all considerations for playing carriers. It's just won't be going into that for this video. Hopefully we'll just be demonstrating how to land some hits with the various armaments. American carriers are fairly standard in many regards. They don't have any special considerations for their armaments. Now, I'm the only player on my team, a blessing and a curse. You'll mostly be controlling your actual carrier with autopilot. So before the game starts, I'm sending my carrier back a little bit. To launch planes, I'm going to take off with torpedo bombers first. So I press 2 twice, which launches my torpedo bombers. What I'm going to be looking for is one of those battleships, just to show you how to land some torpedoes on them. As I say, this is by no means an extensive or in-depth or even very good carrier instructional video. Simply want to show you how to land some hits. Now, when I see a target that I want to hit with torpedoes, I want to attack it from the side. And once I position myself beside a target, hopefully a battleship, I'm going to left click once. When I left click once, that's going to start my attack run. I probably want to start my attack run with these planes at about 5 kilometers out. So by the time I am about 5 kilometers away, okay, I'm not going to attack him. Down the bottom of the screen, you can see 6 health bars in groups of 2. That means that when my attack flight starts, it will drop 2 planes. 2 planes will be part of the attack wave. So you can see that I have already taken a little bit of damage from that Karlsruhe there, but I'm going to avoid him because I'm looking for a battleship. Change my mind. I'm going to attack the Karlsruhe. I can see the battleships on the other side. It's not impossible to hit destroyers and cruisers with torpedo bombers. It's just a little bit more difficult. Right, now, see the clear area in my targeting indication? That's the arming distance. If I launch torpedoes, but the ship is within that distance, they will not arm. They'll just bounce off the hull. Now, I've left click once to begin my attack run, and as you can see, I have to lead him a little bit. I'm adjusting my aim slightly, and then I left click a second time to send the torps where I hope that they are going to hit his hull. Right, so that's a couple of runs there. He has smoke, sorry, he has fire coming out of his engines. His engines are being knocked out. which means I know that he's going to be going a little bit slower, so I don't need to lead as much, if at all, to get some more torps on him. And I've hit him. Press F to return to ship. See, I've got no planes left, it's just left me looking there. Press F. I'll now press 3 twice. That will launch my bombers. American bombers are a speciality of the American carrier line. Various nations and or individual ships have different performances from their aircraft. For the Americans, the bombs are good. So I'll show you how to get some bomb hits. So as you can see, the reticule is longitudinally in front of me. So I want to attack from either the front of the ship or the rear of the ship. Now, again, battleships are easier to hit. It's not impossible to hit other ships. So I've left-clicked about a ship length in front of it, and I'm going to drop those bombs when the middle of the target reticule is on the bow. Now, I'm in a little bit of trouble here, because that Kuma could just go straight through and kill my carrier itself, which might end up happening anyway. I'm simply going to use autopilot to click away. Hopefully give me a little bit more time to kill this Kuma. Now, because I'm attacking from behind, I start my attack run with my reticule in front of the Kuma and try and drop it on its nose. Now, obviously, different ships have different speeds, and depends whether they're turning or not, will determine where you try and drop the bombs. Now, I've only got one attack flight left, so I'm going to hit F twice, go back to the carrier, and I'm now going to launch torpedoes again. Launch torpedo bombers again. Because that Kuma has turned away, he's no longer an immediate threat to my carrier itself. So I don't have to do any desperation attacks on him. However, I'm now looking at that Dante Alighieri, that Italian battleship whose captain name claims to be Tirpitz, is both a threat to my ship and to the cap, and also should be a much easier target. So I'm using torpedo bombers. I want to attack him from the side, and I want to be about 5 kilometers away, maybe a little bit less. Once again, different torpedo bombers will have different distances that you can start your attack run at. Captain skills can affect your arming distance, torpedo speed. But as you can see here, you can see the countdown timer in my targeting indicator. That tells me how much longer my attack run has to last. If I don't launch torpedoes in that time, I will rise back into the air and it won't waste the ordnance. So you can start an attack run, and for any reason, if you need to cancel the attack run, just don't launch your torpedoes. They won't be wasted, and you'll just fly back up into the air. Now, as you can see, even though I'm getting hits, I'm not doing a lot of damage. Now, for the purposes of instruction, I'll take my rocket planes up and just show you how to get hits with them. So you're not going to do a whole heap of damage with an aircraft carrier. You're not going to just sink a battleship with one squadron. So you have to chip away as per normal. Now I'm looking at the team lineups. For some reason my bots have done better than the enemy bots, so that's always good. Did I speak too soon? Rocket planes. Rocket planes have recently become a little bit more complicated and less popular. But as you can see, my reticule is shaped left to right. So again, I want to be beside an enemy ship before I start my attack run. There's a couple of phases to this. He's going slowly, if not stop, so that's going to make it easier. So first, a left click. Now the reticule is just in front of him. Once the reticule is where I want to go, I left click again, and Right, there's a good demonstration for you. And then it launches the rockets. So there's a couple of phases to that. It takes a bit of getting used to, and it didn't used to be like that, but that's how it is now. So this game is all but over. I'm actually going to go back and get some torpedo bombers. And now that it's completely safe, I'm going to head my planes back towards where the enemy aircraft carrier is. It will probably be dead by the time I get there. Now that my planes are heading in the right direction, I'm going to go back to minimap and just send my very slow carrier to go to the enemy cat. Won't get there in time, but I'm just moving towards it. Once again, this is not an in-depth look at tactics and use of your carrier. If it was, I'd be talking about moving your carrier closer to hide behind an island close to the enemy so you can get your planes there faster. That's not the purpose of this video. But as you can see, my actual physical carrier is a long way away from the enemy, and it's going to take me a long time to get there. But that's a discussion for another day. Quick note about the speed. On the left-hand side of my planes there, you can see a green bar. That's my boost bar. That's how much extra boost that I've got. As you can see at the moment, the planes are flying at, well, you can see the speed there. If I press W, as in forward, as per any ship, you can see I start to speed up and it starts to use the boost bar. So how and when you use that is up to you. Again, not an in-depth look at it. You'll see at the bottom I have a consumable engine cooling. Watch the green bar as I press engine cooling. Watch the green bar. I hit R for engine cooling. It immediately fills the bar. I remain at full power, and for a few moments it doesn't burn any of my boost and then starts to consume again. How and when you use that is not the focus of this video. I am using it, however, just to get closer to target. Attacking enemy aircraft carriers is its own consideration. Enemy aircraft carriers, and indeed your own carrier, will launch fighters in defense of themselves, which will be launched automatically and act independently of your will. They can make attacking enemy aircraft carriers a dangerous prospect. You'll probably see that I will take a lot more damage attacking this aircraft carrier than I will anything else. Look at my health bars down the bottom. My planes are being shredded. I'm being attacked by fighters. There's and gone. So I'll grab bombers this time. At this stage of the match, it doesn't really matter because there's I got an Allied BB right on top of the enemy CV, and that's exactly where you don't want to be as a CV. If your actual hull itself, if your ship itself is spotted by enemies, whether it's bots or players, they will often just focus you. Skynet and players hate aircraft carriers and they want them to die. So that is something you have to keep in mind. From the moment you start playing aircraft carriers, you have to protect your ship itself. If you're in co-op, the bots aren't going to come back and protect you. If you're in PvP, players often aren't going to come back and protect you. So you have to be very aware of where your actual ship is at all times. As you could see before, I was concerned about the Kuma and the Alighieri, which had come through to Cap. You saw then I had to move my ship away from Cap even further to try and be safe. You have to constantly do that. So I'm just going to use boost again here to try and get to the aircraft carrier. Of course the bots don't, the bots are accurate, but they don't always act sensibly, which is the only explanation for why that enemy aircraft carrier is still alive. I'm sure it's almost dead though. See if we can get one more hit on it before the game is over. which we might. Different bombers from different nations and even different ships of the same nation will have different times that you have to time your drops. So once again, this is only looking at Langley. At each individual bomber aircraft will have different times at which you have to start your attack. Now this is not ideal. I'm going to do attack from the side anyway, but this is not ideal. So I left click right there. I'm now hitting the skids a bit. I'm turning left, and you can see how I tried to adjust my aim. But if you try, American bombers are pretty maneuverable once you've started, and battleship has killed him. So that is a brief introduction to how you land hits with Langley aircraft armament. Good luck.